Scientists have finally uncovered something extraordinary, a way to access a higher dimension of consciousness. Not through rituals or blind faith, but through neuroscience itself. What if your brain already holds the key to shifting into quantum reality, and no one ever told you? Your brain isn't just a processor of thoughts. It's a gateway, a bridge between ordinary reality and higher dimensions of consciousness. Neuroscientists have discovered that certain brain states can actually shift how you perceive reality. At the core of this is theta brainwaves. When your brain produces theta waves, it enters a state of deep relaxation, the same state experienced during meditation, dreaming, or sudden insight. In this state, the boundaries of normal reality start to fade. Your mind can access information and experiences that feel otherworldly. But it's not enough to just meditate. The brain needs a specific activation pattern. Researchers found that combining focused attention, controlled breathing, and a subtle mental cue can trigger the brain to resonate with quantum frequencies. How it works in practice. Focused attention, concentrate fully on one image, sound, or intention. This quiets your brain's default mode network, the chatter of habitual thoughts and worries, allowing perception to expand. Controlled breathing, slow, rhythmic breaths lower your heart rate and shift brainwaves into theta range. Even a few minutes can trigger deep awareness that feels like stepping into another reality. Mental cue, a trigger, imagining a spiral of light or focusing on a single symbol, nudges your brain into resonance with higher dimensional frequencies. Ordinary reality begins to feel fluid, the sense of being limited by space and time dissolves. Amplifying frequency, low-frequency binaural beats can accelerate the shift. Combined with the above steps, they make higher dimensional states vivid and easier to access. Case study, Dr. Elena's experiment. Dr. Elena, a neuroscientist studying consciousness, conducted an experiment with volunteers practicing the activation method for just 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks. Week 1, participants reported unusual clarity in dreams and sudden insights. Brain scans showed increased theta activity. Week 2, many experienced perceiving parallel layers of reality, noticing patterns and connections previously hidden. One participant described feeling like time slowed down and reality folded in on itself. Brain imaging confirmed that these weren't just subjective experiences. Areas responsible for self-boundaries and time perception lit up differently, operating as if participants existed in multiple dimensions at once. The door to higher dimensional awareness is open, and science has finally given us the map. But there's one final piece of the puzzle that almost no one talks about. Ending with cliffhanger. Here's the secret that almost no one mentions: activating theta waves, focusing your attention, and using cues is only half the process. There's a deeper, almost invisible trigger that fully opens the door to higher dimensional reality. Without it, most people plateau, glimpsing possibilities but never fully crossing the threshold. With it, your brain doesn't just perceive reality differently. It begins to interact with it on a quantum level, bending what was once considered impossible. Scientists are only beginning to understand this trigger, but early experiments hint at something profound: a way to align your consciousness with the very fabric of existence, giving access to knowledge, intuition, and experiences that defy ordinary explanation. And the most shocking part? The very first step to activating it could happen within the next 5 minutes, using something you do every single day. But what exactly is this trigger? How do you access it safely? And what happens when your consciousness finally steps fully into the quantum dimension? Those answers are closer than you think, and what happens next might completely change everything you thought you knew about reality.